All right, here we are back into the office. The Day Trading Radio office is here in cold New York. I am back from my vacation. I am here on a Sunday evening. I am super dedicated to get a watch list out for this week. Now, because I got in today, I just came in. I was off for a week. We had great news during that week. Our AUPH here hit big, and I want to review that. I want to review upcoming stocks that we're going to be watching for next week. Get us back on track. Usually, I was in Hawaii, so I was really kind of out of touch because of the time and stuff. I got up one day. I got up about 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning to trade the market. And that was the day after AUPH came out, halted, and it popped. So I wanted to be in front of the computer the next morning to see if I could sell my options, or see if my options sold. Basically executed in the morning. I put in some prices, and I want to talk to you about that. And it was a good vacation. It was even better because of the AUPH. That was the highlight of the whole thing. I'm glad to get back here. And again, due to the lateness of I took a flight overnight, and we arrived at 6 in the morning, a Sunday morning, and I had to take care of unpacking, get everything set up, and then I go get the dogs and stuff. And by the time I got over here, about 2 o'clock, and I started doing the research, and the research takes a long time. So I've got all our stocks up here, some news items we're going to be watching, some new bio or pharmaceutical stocks that have potentials of coming up with some news. So I want to just jump right into it. It's probably going to be a little shorter watch list because I want to try to get it out at a decent hour tonight. It is Sunday, and the market's just about to open up, actually. We're about 4 minutes away from the open, and lots of times I come back from vacation and I'll find that the market has gotten crushed. But in this case, it really didn't get crushed. It's been acting pretty good. I had to say I had a fantastic vacation with everything that played out on my account, trading account, that is. But I'm curious to see, during my research, it was like the first time I'm actually looking at stocks almost in 10 days here. So I had to really catch up. So I went over my big list, my 215 stocks that I really focus on, and then I brought up some new ones, and I did some scans and did some news. I got some websites, everything here. I got to stop talking. I'm just excited to be back, and thanks everyone for hanging in there, and thanks Paul for covering while I was away. All right. So again, I'm going to guess that the market's going to pop because one thing I want to mention is during my research, I found out some new divergences. I found a lot of divergences have just recently set up in the last couple of trading days, and the market's already moved off of that. I also noticed there's a lot of great stocks out there that are trading near 52-week high, all-time highs. That's a very bullish sign. And me going on vacation, the market not getting crushed, that's an extremely bullish sign. So there's a couple things that we're going to be watching this week. They're going to apparently bring, the impeachment charges to the table and see if they're going to, like I said, I've been out of it for a while here. I've been trying to catch up on the news and stuff, but that impeachment thing is still going on. And personally, my personal feeling on how this thing is going to work out, I mean, right now they're supposed to be going through these mock trials and stuff. I turned on the TV before just to kind of catch up on some of the news, and they said they're about to announce the news that they're going to try to impeach him with, and what is it going to be? Is it going to be Mueller stuff also and stuff? Well, this thing is definitely going two ways. Are they going to do this, and will it get through? Because I'm hearing that there might be some defectors from the Democrats who that might not want to bring this to the table and stuff, and that's kind of an interesting thing. Because if this thing fails, I think what happens is there's kind of retribution, down the road for the ones who voted to impeach him and stuff, and people might be wondering about that. The other thing, if this thing falls apart, this market here should continue to shoot higher, at least on that positive news. The Chinese phase 2 news, or phase 1 news actually, is being hung out in front of us, continue to be hung out in front of us like a carrot, and that doesn't seem to be affecting the market too much. And then there's some kind of North Korean news, doesn't seem, a couple of terrorist attacks recently. I was actually in Honolulu when they attacked, there was a shooting at the Pearl Harbor. And I could not believe it because of all things, I'm like so close to a shooting. I'm not going to call that a terrorist. I think it was a soldier that shot some people and turned a gun on himself. And then coming home, and here comes the crickets here. So the market here popping, and I was just going to put down some money that the market would pop starting off the morning. Now that's starting off the evening on a Sunday, so that's a good sign. I mean, we didn't have no news to gap us down. So, even if it does get chopped up here or choppy, the overall feeling is that this level is pretty good and it wants to hold this level, and I would expect it to move higher. And especially if that impeachment thing kind of falls through, just let me see what it says here. Submitted, following, unable to submit, has canceled request, attempted to close position, terminated itself. All right, so I'm also back here, not to get you guys back on the bot here. I know I was really left you guys hanging with the bot, not updating it like I should on vacation, but it was very hard. I mean, I couldn't do anything much on vacation, and that wouldn't be fair for anybody. Wouldn't be good. So right now, I got the divergence short on the bot channel. I believe that is running. The divergence long setup is on the bot channel right now. And it's worked out pretty good. When I do start it back up, it kind of looks back and places, back test the strategy on recent levels and show you, the trades that it would have taken. This one right before Friday, around right at the close, was perfect. It was actually a perfect buy divergence there, and it ran right up like it's supposed to, taking first profits, second profits, and then a trailing stop coming and protecting the rest of it. And this was an overnight something. This was some kind of short. I just activated it, so it was in. The criteria was that at the close, it'll sometimes say in a short because the criteria at the close. But then the market opened up. I just have to reset it now. So that's going on right now. Markets are up not much, less than a point, and we're going to go over some stocks here. I don't think I've taken a breath. Let me bring up some charts here. I want to try to get this out fast. All right, so I need my TC 2000. Oh, I have to restart. So I came home. I came back to the office here. Came home and then drove over to work. And one of my monitors were out. And I was like very proud of myself. I updated the drivers and stuff, and I came back on. I'm like, yeah, save me a trip. I was almost going to ride up to Best Buy. That would have delayed things more. So I got all the computers up and running for tomorrow morning. Should be a good show. Holding some good stuff. The VERU. Let's talk about the VERU fast as I wait for this chart to load up here. I apologize for the black screen, but the VERU is coming out with earnings on the 12th, which I believe is probably like Thursday, maybe. It is Thursday the 12th. Now I don't know if that's pre-market or aftermarket. I'll check that for us, because that is going to be a catalyst for that stock, because we're also waiting for phase 2 results, or an update on phase 2 and results. So I guess it's going to go hand in hand. And it's supposed to happen in the last quarter of the year. So this is December something. It is the last quarter of the year. So you gotta figure something might happen here. You gotta figure that there might be some news out here. And if we take a look at VERU right now, VERU, that's my other big drug stock I'm holding. So it was the AUPH, it was the VERU. I have some what is it? I don't even have it up on the screen. What is that? LIXT, LIXT. But that's just a moonshot, super gamble. I picked up at 18 cents. It's holding up here at $1, and I'm just holding on to it. I don't know much about it other than it came from where VERU came from. VERU's acting pretty good. I know all about the VERU now. I've been in it for so long and understand it. So they are coming out with their phase 2 on the prostate cancer hot flashes, that are associated with that treatment, or their the whole thing. I'm not a doctor. Castration and the hot flashes after it's VERU 944, and we're waiting for again a phase 2 update on that. And that's actually on the top of a screen. That brings me to the next segment right here, because I might as well concentrate on it. Seeing how we got the move on AUPH, and I'm jumping back to AUPH here. Seeing how we had a big move on AUPH. Before I left, I put out a big email to the members, and I said, these are the 2 stocks you're going to have to watch this week. AUPH, this is the one we're concentrating on, and hopefully we're going to get news while I was on vacation. Discussed the targets, the levels. I put a couple orders in to sell a few thousand shares at $20. And I got hit on that. I got hit at night, and it was a shame because I was afraid. I was down on the beach when I got the news, and I was waiting for the news. So we were, back and forth with Steve, and I was waiting. I said, today, if it wasn't yesterday, it's probably going to be today. So I was coming back. I took a nap. Did I take a nap? What was it? I was doing something. I was coming down to the beach, and my father-in-law walks by me, and he goes, Deep Throat called. Well, he called him by his name. But he goes, Deep Throat. So he said, AUPH is halted. Thumbs up. So I run to my phone, and it's already starting to ring off the hook. And Paul's calling Courtney because I'm on the other line and stuff. So Paul's going off the hook here, and I'm trying to get some quotes and stuff from people because I'm on the beach. And I'm like, all right. They're going to open it up in like 15 minutes. So I'm deciding if I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to have to run upstairs and see if I could see where it's going to open, if I'm going to execute it on my shares. So I decide to, it opens up while I'm on the beach, and then I'm getting bids. Or no, someone was giving me the bids, and then it opened up, and I think it went up to about $24. And I said, shoot. I said no, because Paul said there was a bid of 18, then someone said it was 20, then there was a spread between 16 and stuff, and I said, I hope they don't just friggin' screw me on this. And I'm trying to remember now exactly where I left put my stop order in. I said, did I move that one? Because I had some in for like $16, and then I said, oh man, they're going to nail me for that 16, because I wanted to get the gap up and get executed right there. So I run back up, and I find I had 3,000 shares executed at 2042 or something, 2,000 and 1,000 at 19. So it was a spread. Both got triggered like 436 or something like that. But there was a dollar spread between the 1,000 shares. That was crazy. I said I knew that was going to happen. So then I said, all right, I have the other shares. I should go up there and decide if I'm going to sell them or not. So I run up to the room, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching it kind of go up, and I sold a couple hundred shares more. I didn't have much left. I think I had 700 shares, and I'm holding on to that, and it's dropping, and then I picked up another 300 shares. So I pulled myself back up to 1,000 shares now on AUPH. But I did sell 3,000 shares at $20.42. 2,000 there, and at $19 even at right after they open. And that's the important thing about this, and this is why I want to mention the VERU. Now I got so much to discuss in this. VERU here, gonna have some news. How far can this go? That's the big question. Is it a big drug like the lupus drug? And we knew everything about that. Hot flash is a big thing. I can't get a feel for this, but I do have the history of this stock popping usually on news, and I think this gets us pretty close. Now they're actually making money selling the D-wipes, these medical wipes, and then I'm not even going to go into that. But I would like to see, a nice pop on this. So I'm at a point today, and I have some orders in. I don't have my platform open, but I think I have some orders in to sell a few thousand shares at $4. Because it's another one of those situations where they either come out with news in the morning or after close, and the stock will pop aggressively or move and Who knows how how significant in this environment. This is important. That's why I came up with the new targets on these, because over the last few weeks, even before I went on vacation, we were seeing this appetite for drug stocks. These drug stocks would get popped in the morning, move 200, 300%. There was a schizophrenia drug coming out of phase 1. I was like, and that thing jumped like 300%. I'm like, how are these stocks running? What? I said, this is going to be great for the ALF. I mean, we're gonna skyrocket. So I recalculated some targets. I got the targets up around the $20 level, and we let things fly from there. So now we have to figure out the same scenario. Is this a long-term hold, or do we want to get the hell out of Dodge here on VERU? Well, honestly, I want to get the hell out of Dodge. I want to get a pop on this and kind of just really scale out, because I have a lot of shares on this. And not that I don't believe in it. It's just that I just don't see. Where did my charts go now? Shoot, here it is. I don't see the news could be such a big catalyst. I don't know. It's does it go up to $6? Does it go up to $8, $9? These drug stocks, what I was saying, schizophrenia drug up to 30. I don't even know where it went, but they were up 300, 400%. Again, if this was up, up to $6, I would be forced to take profits on this, and I would like to take profits on that. So right now, I do have an order in to sell a few thousand shares at $4. Maybe I'm going to put some more orders in at $6. And you got to figure, what? Other people are going to try to front run you. Someone's going to put order in at $3.90, whatever. Anybody that were in this stock has it down here in this $2 level. So you're pretty much everyone has a profit on this. The idea is to get out of this with a nice profit and not have to deal with it, because there's always going to be another stock coming down the line. And I think we have that, or at least we have a potential mover for next week. All right. So the next stock on our list for next week, and again, this is kind of a different type of watch list, because we made such a big hit last week on AUPH, and I'm getting right back from vacation. I want to just focus on things that I think we can make some fast scores on. They're going to be a little bit more dangerous, but we're going to discuss that right now. And then I'm going to give you just the best setups for the week, and then we're going to move on and get this out. So I want to show you the divergences for the day. So VERU is discussed, AUPH, so I'm still holding the AUPH, 1,000 shares. And I have my options. I did sell a lot of the options. I had some December 20 options. I sold half of those. And then I have January options. And I think I have February options too. I have to check again. Don't have it open on the AUPH. Now let's go back in AUPH. Sorry, I'm all over the place. It's jet lag. So here's our pop. Huge. Guy gave me that Apple Watch. He's going to stop by. He said, Johnny, I made $100,000 today. I said, I got to stop by on Monday. 1544. So what I did on this AUPH is I looked back all the way to the last time they had their news. Now this was the news when they had phase 2 news. It popped, but I was just looking at, all right, let's take a look at how did it pop and what happened the first day, what happened the second day. And this is kind of interesting, because we have a situation, we have this consolidation, we have shorts in it. There's always shorts in the stock. I mean, there's shorts in here, but what happened here? We got the initial gap, it sold off, we had a consolidation, then it started ramping back up for the whole next week. Now, that's interesting. Gap up, sold off, kind of an inside day, then it started grinding back up. So you had 2 inside days, then a breakout, and then a run. So how is this chart comparing to that chart? Well, here we have the pop, the sell-off, kind of the inside day. I mean, we actually did close inside that other candle, even though we took out the low. Now, if we start to break back above $16. Yeah, really $16, and start to hold and start to push there. Yeah, absolutely. I think we go a little higher. I am at a point here where I'm trying to decide if I should sell the rest of my December options. I have a nice profit on them, and kind of roll this out, or just concentrate on shares right now. I did pick up 300 shares down in 15 and change. So I haven't decided what I want to do with my options. I'm holding. I sold half of them. So I'm holding half of them. And if this feels strong, there's a lot of talk of this one being a potential takeover buyout candidate because of their drug, and they have this other drug which is that takes care of the dry eyes syndrome, dry eyes, and it's supposed to be really good. And it's kind of going. It's going to phase 1/2 or phase 2, and they're supposed to have an update mid to 2020, I would say. Just getting into the second half of it, probably the first quarter, maybe towards the second quarter. So they have that stock also, and there's going to be other catalysts and partnerships and stuff, and they think that this drug is going to be, worth a lot of money. So there's a good reason to believe that this probably does pull back a little, but overall holds and starts moving back up. I would love to just see it run back up, and I can take my Decembers off, because I'm going to start to lose that time value very fast now, and kind of either just get a couple, just trade it now. But I want to hold. I'm holding a pretty good size of it still. Well, 1,000 shares, and so if we could get back up above $20, I think this thing holds that level and probably ends up going higher. This is the tough area right now. Do we hold this 14 level or 15 level? I'd probably watch that body. Friday's body close. Right where we closed here. And 1480, we'll call it 1480. And if we could actually get above Friday's highs, I'd be bullish on this. All right, VERU, VERU, earnings out and possible news on Thursday. And you can see this one's been grinding back up, and we already discussed where we're going to put those targets and where our orders are going to go in, if you want to do that. The new one here, as I was like, all of a sudden, you kind of get hooked on these drug stocks because they give you such a big return, a big thing. So it's kind of like gambling, because you really got to do good research. And we had great research done. And again, credit goes to Steve out there, who's a member, who brought AUPH to me in the first place when I started looking at it, and and learning a lot about research from Steve and how he was looking at this, and it all made sense. And once you start to believe in a stock, that's what you need to do. If you have to believe in these drug stocks, you have to do your research. You have to understand why why these things have the potential of exploding. You have to know when the FDA results are. You have to know what the reviews are about. You have to know, in this case with AUPH, we knew people were hiring they were hiring people at the company. They were hiring for a drug that wasn't yet in the United States, but they were hiring vice presidents for commercialization in the United States. So all these clues made it very easy to hold the AUPH. All right, the VERU, the same thing. So this next one here has potential news next week. PTI, Photo Status Therapeutics, and has a potential phase 2, I believe. And again, this one, I just really started looking at it last week when I was in Hawaii, just for a couple days. I looked at it. I said, all right, they're coming out with some kind of, it's only $3. I'll buy a couple hundred shares. So I didn't post that or anything, but I'm telling you right now, right at this level, actually, probably right at the 350, 360 level, I have 300 shares of this. And I said, well, what's the worst thing? It goes, $1. I lose a couple bucks on it. It's just, but the potential now is knowing when these announcements are going to come. So this is more of a gamble for me, but I read into it. I just wanted to feel a little bit more comfortable. It's a cystic fibrosis drug. I read some of the recent reports and stuff, and for what I could tell, it was good. It was positive. Everything seemed legit. In the case with the AUPH, I was very familiar with the doctors and stuff, and the people who ran the company, how they ran other companies, and had those companies taken over. So there's a good pedigree in certain drug companies, especially with the CEOs and how they approached other drug companies they were in. And the same thing with the AUPH, just a reflection back at that. The big picture here is I think there is a good chance of this being bought out down the road. It's just maybe we want to trade it here and then get back in it down the road when we could feel that coming. I don't know how far that's away. It might be just a month away. I'd be very interested. We were in ARRY and it got bought out. No longer a symbol. No longer a symbol. Same thing. Drug company was in Kite Pharmaceutical, right? Got bought out. No longer around. Kite Realty Group now. Well, that's interesting. It's a weird way of finding the stock. So we've been in our drug companies that have been bought out. So this AUPH could be the next one, or a partnership. And good news. All right. So the PTI, I'm in it. It's interesting. It could probably pull back a little. Probably a lot of weak hands, but they were thinking that the news was going to come out probably this week. Getting closer to Christmas, or soon after, right in this month. I mean, I would say this week. So keep an eye on this one. I'll keep an eye on it for you. I'm in it. And if you're going to get in it tomorrow, just, again, this is a riskier stock. All right, next one up. Stocks for this week. Again, I think the biggest news will be what happens with the impeachment process and if there's anything that comes up from that. But the market is looking extremely, extremely bullish to me, being on vacation. And it looks like we want to take out the highs again. Look at how much room we have here. Now, we could pop a little higher in reverse. If we did get a reversal, we might have a big sell side divergence. But that would still require the stock to get up a little bit higher. So I think we're good to go at least up to that 31.55 area, 31.55, which is another 10 points higher. Markets are up 125 right now. And then if we did see that reversal candle or anything, and we'd see a nice divergence, it'll be easy enough to start taking those trades, taking those shorts. And I'll definitely update you on when that happens. So there's quite a few divergences. I want to go stick to the some of the best quality names and the best bets for this week. 3M. Been in and out of this one recently, but it's showing up as my divergence setup here. It's a brand new divergence. This is what we call a nice trend line retracement. Where do we go? Oh, back here. Remember, there's an old trend line. I've been watching this, and this I've been trading off of. Even though you think that it's not holding that trend line, it actually is holding it well. It comes back up to it, pulls back. It kind of held it there, broke down, tagged it again. So every time we get it back above it, there's a better chance we start to resolve to the upside. So last time up, we pulled back here. We actually had that trade there off of that trend line and moved up. And then I think I got back in. I have to open up my account here to see I'm in options on that. I'm just not sure. I think the December 20s or January's on this. And I do love this 3M down here because of divergence and the kind of we pull back to this old trend line. It's a nice pullback. We're off the 200 period moving average. I think this is ultimate buy zone down here. Ultimate buy zone. We're going to hold that trend line. That could be your stop right under 165. That would be a good stop. Well, actually, 162. You want to be under that candle right there. Well, but again, you have that trend line down there. I would say it holds, but I don't think we're going to even get down there. I think this is starting to move back up aggressively. It's a very steep Nike check mark. Remember, there's so many different things we like to pay attention to, with the HPS philosophy. Candlesticks and the way the stock moves. Sometimes you get a nice little just rounded bottom, and it doesn't move up. Right here, it's just around. Even though it's a big candle, you don't see that big spike. And then sometimes you get a big or steeper, what I call a Nike check mark. And those tend to move. So you had one over here and moved up, but then you have a secondary one here, and it's a very steep one. So this looks absolutely fantastic. So this is actually going to be one of my best bets for the week, 3M. Making it back on the best bet list. And an early target here until I get, I'll probably put these charts out tomorrow, considering it's getting late. 171 to 175. I don't think you have any problem with those 175 calls. We'll take that trade tomorrow. And that's also a retracement. The WDC, take a look at this one. Western Digital, old trend line. Kind of a base down here, not much going on. Definitely showing kind of a 200 EMA breakdown, channel line bounce. I don't have any top trend lines in yet. If anything, I could probably drag this one right here, make a parallel trend line, and put it to the top of that gap area here. That would be the best scenario. So I think we actually get a move on this Western Digital. I don't see myself getting into this, but this is an excellent divergence. Much higher low. Lower trend line, double bottom, divergence, off the 200. I mean, just looks like everything's lined up for you here. Just look good. With a stop under, I would just make that stop here, halfway into the previous candle. If it starts to fail, then it probably maybe comes back down here, or the low here. But I don't even think that you're going to have that. I think we're going to, unless there's something that happens with the market and selling comes in, all these are very bullish, and that's something to pay attention to also. So this looks actually really good for a continuation. It's only $18. All right, reversal. ADL, some of the simplest things to pay attention to are these reversals. Now, I don't even know what that one is. Holy crap. I can tell you this, we're returning to the cowboy traders, trading cowboys. Where they get in and they get out. I mean, look at this thing. It's a 10 bagger. Went 10 cents from less than a penny. ADL though. Let's take a look at this. What do I have here? AAL. All right. So I took United. And man, what a tough flight it was. 9 hours from Hawaii direct. And I had my daughter sleeping on my lap. My son was on my wife's lap, and it was just like hell to pay. You couldn't even move. I think I was sleeping. I couldn't even get up, stretch my legs for 9 hours. I watched yesterday and some other crap and stood there and then listened to some podcasts, and God, I wanted to move so bad. American Airlines. We have a divergence here, but it's a all right, you know what I'm looking at here? I marked this one down because when we look at charts and we look at these, say American Airlines, it gives you a nice move up, nice move down, nice move up, nice move down, nice move up, nice move down. So how do we time that nice move back up or the nice move down where you can get in for a nice swing trade? That's the object, right? If you're not, while we're waiting for the next big move, to play out, we probably want to be in stocks that, maybe we could swing a bit, get 3 or 4 good days out of. So you want to buy those stocks that have all those things lining up. So you have this divergence, slight dual divergence here. But the other thing is I want to point out that take a look at the candles. Whenever you have an oversold stochastic and a candle reversal, you have a better chance to move. Here's a kind of a candle reversal. You see that tail? That tail, for me, to be a good reversal candle, has to be twice as long as the body. So if the body was real, twice as long, I want to have a long tail. If the body's big, I want to have a real long tail for that to be a good divergence candle. That qualifies right there. This is a nice 180 reversal. That's also qualifies for reversal. And there's where you want to get those. So I'm not really seeing it here. Not really seeing any big reversals here, but I am seeing, a potential change of direction here. But I don't see myself getting in this one. Home Depot, great stock, coming back down. Here's a 200 EMA, almost down here to get down to that lower trend line. There's a nice pivot area, or 2 pivot areas here. You could extend that trend line down there and make it kind of easier to find that level. That would come in around 208. It's shown as a dual divergence. There's an upward, the divergence last time up there was actually a really good one. And it's right on the 200 period moving average. So I kind of like Home Depot. So I have it written down. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It would have to be an options play, I believe. But it does have the divergence, and my job is to show you the best of the best out there. Now, Oxy here, I do like that Oxy, even though it hasn't moved with the other oil stocks. And boy, did we see a move on Friday on some of these oil stocks, the OIH, oil service sector. Huge candle, and very close to being considered a divergence. This is so steep. The stochastic level here is so steep. And this is very close. This does look like a good divergence. It's moved up quite a bit off of that divergence and now is in an overbought level. So you have to kind of find these divergences as they're setting up. And they're great for reference. Like, oh, here's a great divergence. There's the low, lower low, much higher low off the 20. Again, 20 is my line in the sand. I don't want to, here, even though there is a little divergence down here from this low to this low and the double bottom, and there is a move. The bigger and better ones are these high divergences. So with that said, look at the pop, and you're probably going to get some follow through on that. So keep an eye on the ExxonMobil, XOM. You're going to see a big candle here. All of these have been down here. There's some patterns playing out. There's a lot of divergences playing out. This is again another very close double bottom, higher than the 20 line here, divergence on both of these. So there might be a bottom shaping up here in these oil stocks, and it's hard to believe that because these things have acted like crap. But if there is going to be a spot, there could be something here growing. All these are starting to turn back up. We had some good volume come in in this sector, Halliburton, HAL. You can see the volume picked up on on this nice move, closed at the highs of the day. And I had a feeling that had something to do with the Saudi OPEC meeting that was on Friday. So, news means a lot. If some bad news comes out on OPEC over the weekend or tomorrow, I'm sure that would react just the same to the downside. But I do like these now. Finally, I like them. Just on yesterday's candle. SRCL. I'm just showing you a stock that seems to just be on this is under the radar type of crawl. Moves up every day, just higher highs and higher lows. Something's going on. It feels extremely, it has these ways of doing this. It looks like it's just starting to get going here like we did back here. So I think this is a good momentum play. It's $65 only. I want to actually circle that one because I think I want to look at that one. So I will circle that one. 3M circle. And then we're also in OXY. Circle that. But again, under the radar, slowly moving up. Tomorrow will be an interesting day on this. I mean, we are extended here. I almost would like to see it pull back a little just to have that momentum instead of trying to just capture the continued momentum, even though each time it comes up, it does pull back. So very dangerous area. So remember, you want to have this turning up, but underneath the 80 level, not pinned at 90. 90 is kind of a high level. Each time it got up there, we did pull back for about 3 or 4 days. Not a big pullback, but enough to kind of probably piss people off. Oh, I got it at the high. So I would have to now say, let this set up for you, but remember the strength here. Strength is going to come back in this one. Maybe wait for a 60-minute rotation. Get down that 60 getting oversold. That might be the thing you need on this. Here's another nice 60 rotation. And a nice move up off of that. So it's very interesting. Another one that's going to continue to go here and it's starting to break out is Google. Google's going to break out here. There's nothing wrong with this stock. Even though it's extended at this point, we're probably going to get embedded, and we're probably just going to move up aggressively on this. All these stocks are showing strength in the market and probably showing the overall direction of the market. Our favorite, Stanley Black & Decker, recent pullback, bought right back up. We're testing the highs again. All these stocks look like they want to break out. Actually, the highs are back here on this one, 174, which just makes that one interesting. Definitely makes this one interesting, 174. That's very interesting. And let's take a look at what's the other one I'm looking at? Sherman-Williams, SWH or SHW. Where is it here? That's the other one. I would like that one too. Again, $500 stock, but look at how that thing moves. And this is actually really nice because it's just pulled back. So, believe it or not, I just found one I didn't have on my watch list, and that's exactly what I want. I want to have a good quality name that's pulled sideways.
1 minute by divergence.
Strategy terminated. Shit. I gotta fix this. Let's see. Apologize for that. Had the bot on. So Sherman-Williams looks pretty good. Do we wait for a divergence? That might be a good thing to do because these pullbacks, even though this looks ripe, each oversold level did move up a little. But each divergence has really marked off the permanent lows in these moves. This nice move down was defined by that 14.3 divergence. This nice move down was reversed by that nice 14.3 divergence. This nice move down, 14.3. Here's a dual, here's a dual, here's a dual. This one, nice. A divergence on this seems to work all the time. Seems to work all the time on this Sherman-Williams. So remember that. Certain stocks, like we just like Stanley Black & Decker, same thing. What was I on looking at before? Yeah, that 60. All right, here's a couple other ones. I want to get through these. It's getting late. BDX. Becton, Dickerson and Company. Looks like a potential huge breakout about to happen. Again, look at the size. Look at the prices on all these stocks. These are another 200 and change stock. But crossing back up here, usually very bullish when we, hold that 20 and cross back up and kind of pinned up there. It wants to go higher. This market looks like it wants to go higher. I mean, what's the odds of us getting some news on the impeachment? Gives us enough power to kind of pop all these stocks, but then then that's when you look for the reversals. All right, here we another one. I would have to put this one close to the best bet of the week also. Waste Management sister company. I say sister company. I always focus on Waste Management. I love trading this stock. It's a garbage stock. Not to say anything bad about it. Just they deal with garbage. And then the other one would be the RSG, another Waste Management stock. But look at the nice chart on this. Very nice chart. So, again, something that we put on the list. Start to watch. Watch for those breakouts. Those breakout days, especially on news, tend to run. So if you get a break above that 90.50, you're definitely probably going to see a nice move on something like this, or extended move, or more volume coming in. These stocks are very close to major breakouts. RSG and then AGN. Again, another sleeper. I just want to point out another sleeper. Look at this. Boom. Just it's not even giving you a shot. Allergen. It's just slowly climbing up there. I mean, imagine that was AUPH and that just like every day you just banking. SWH. All right, so that's that. FOSL, I'm not a fan, but I just want to point out divergence in this one. Double bottom divergence, F fossil. So if someone's out there looking at fossils, wondering when to get in, this might be a spot you might look at. Fastenal is something that is a great stock. I haven't traded in a while. Used to trade a lot. It is giving us a nice divergence here. Beautiful divergence in Fastenal, and a nice pullback starting to break out right now. So that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. You can see a divergence kind of back here. Slowly move up. A little divergence here. Nice move up. Hey, here's another company I just kind of recommend to people who just getting into the market and just want to put money in safe stocks that are growth stocks. And not to say this one's growing any fast. It sure isn't a Google. But always like it. I want to show you a divergence on that. And during my research, I came across a penny stock. I saw it in my list. I don't know if I got it from Deep Throat or someone sent it to me. It's DBPMF. It's an F stock. I think someone gave it to me. I don't even know. It went from 15 cents to 38 cents. And it seems to be holding here. Now, that's all I know. That's all I know. When I see a cheap stock like this holding, doesn't come crashing back down, well, it's telling me something. But I have no desire for it. But I saw it on my list or on my scans. And, yeah, I'll throw it out there. If anybody's interested in it, let me know how you're doing it. All right, let's move to the last and final thing. Okay, the last thing I wanted to do is, these drug stocks again. I want to go back to that AUPH, VERU, and stuff, but we want to find out what the next big one. We're trying something on the PTI, but we want to keep track of this going forward a little bit more because there is opportunities, and I want to be on top of them. Now, Racer, big shout out to Racer in our chat room. He does a great job of updating everyone with the news early in the morning, so he usually has it breaking out before even Mr. Land does or any of the news services does. So big shout out to him, and I would recommend you paying attention to him because he posted in blue and he really keeps an update on the news and how these stocks are running and gives you pretty timely information. And I think probably I even take it for granted, but it's important news, and now I realize how important it is because there's been so many good things that he's posted in the room that I've missed and overlooked, and looking back at it, I have missed them. So I'm going to really concentrate on that, and hopefully, Racer, I appreciate your work out there. It's in the room. What's the other thing I wanted to mention? So with that research, I think we all have to start taking apart and kind of keeping us all up to date. I have 3 sites I want to show you today that are going to help you with the drug companies. All right, just with the hold on, let me see if I could. I had them here. Well, actually, I restarted. So let me see if I can get this going here. Three sites really that are going to help us track some of the FDA and trial stuff. So the first one is going to be, let's see here, Biopharm Catalyst. And again, I forget who mentioned this in the room. Maybe it was Racer, maybe it was someone else. I just want to always give credit to where credit's due. They have a great FDA calendar here. And they have a calendar of what the big things they're expecting, what the next big thing you're expecting. So what I did today, I said, all right, you know what? We've been seeing VERU is up here. So that's why I expected this week, actually. VERU is up here. Hot flashes, the Zucum, whatever the drug is, what the price is and stuff, and when it's supposed to be out. And you could click on there's some information. And then there's these other stocks. You could go through these, and you have to really dig down, see what the news is, see what the drug is, whatever they're trying to. The one thing I didn't check here is the PTI. I didn't see that. Hold on. I'm going to actually look at that in a second and come back to you. Hold on. All right. I can't put PTI in there. Duh. That's the stock symbol. They go by real companies here. So the real company is this one right here. So let's see if anything comes up as that. Nothing did come up on that, so that's just great. Anyway, I did look back on the recent news releases, and they are expecting some news. So I think they just might be missing it on here. Let's see if we go to companies and do a company search, and we'll put it in there. So here they have AbbVie. They have the stock symbol. Let's see if we have it. PTI. Let's see what happens here. Nothing. No. ADPT. Oh. Find company ticker. PTI. Oh, the PTI. There it is. It's weird. All right. So let's see what this thing has to show us. All right, so it gives you the company information, the drug information, news, and article. All right, so the drug information. All right, that's not bad. They give us the name, drug catalyst information displayed when you hover over it and tap on the stage bar graph. All right, so here's the stage bar. Doesn't have really a where the stage is. You know, maybe it's something over it. All right. Phase 2 data released December 11, 2017 showed improvement in FEVA of 5.2%. Phase 2 28-day data release came out December 11th, showed improvements, and then the next one is supposed to be coming out now. The market is dropping right here. I just noticed out of the corner of my eye up here. A fast look here at the markets. The market's just dropped, and there might be some Asian news coming out over in Asia. Or it could be something else. I'm going to keep an eye on that. But we'll continue back on this. And again, just kind of review the site. Review the site on our own here. As I look here at Japanese investors. Yeah, some Japanese news here. Japanese news. So I was the first time ever in Hawaii, in Honolulu. I wasn't exactly on Pearl Harbor, but I was next to Pearl Harbor on Pearl Harbor Day, which is incredible. I would never expect that. So you can see different trials here. I guess this is the one that's due, but there's other ones. Maybe it might be this one. Data due fourth quarter here. Phase 2 data due fourth quarter 2019, which we're due right here. Development to the. All right, so that's that and. All right, so this is the one we're waiting for right here. Let's see what we could turn. See if we double click that. Nothing. All right. Well, drug information, company information, news and articles. December 3rd. So that would give you a lot of information right there. I could probably read into that one a little too, but I'm not going to bother you with that. I just wanted to show you the website. Again, good website, tells you what's coming up. The other next one is, just a second. I gotta dig it out. I had them all saved over here, but now apparently I lost them. So let me just dig it out here. Hold on one second. All right, here we go. Next site is what's called FDAtracker.com. Very simple, FDAtracker.com. It is a paid service, but they do offer a kind of a free calendar here, which is kind of good. So if you go to products up here, here's the home. If you go to products, go to FDA calendar. You'll see the current calendar. Now I don't know how accurate this is, because I was just reading another website doing my research tonight that there was a lot of other things coming out on the 9th. There was a big healthcare conference, and there was a lot of not FDA stuff. Actually, this would probably be more accurate with FDA stuff. But there's other stuff that they're going to give clinical updates and stuff. So I want to show you on that next. But this is the standard FDA calendar. It looks like it's a free thing. You could change the month out to wherever. You could change the month here to January, and I believe that will change it. I believe it will. Oh, maybe it's just giving me December. Oh, there it is. I knew I changed it earlier. And again, you could see, then you could click on the, and it tells you what's going on. Now, I think this is pretty good information for being free. Because if we go back here to this month, I think I was looking at a couple of these. And on the 14th, a lot of this stuff is like on the 14th, Saturday and Sunday. Core of here, let's just take a look at Core of here. FDA assigned a target action date of December 24th. So that's interesting. Target action date. If that's information that people were expecting news to come out for, I mean, it's right there in black and white. And then it gives you a website for more information. Go to the next one over here. Again, goal date extended 3 months of December. All right, so maybe the end of the trial. So there's some good information on this one. FDAtracker.com. Now, also another thing you could do with this, I believe, is, and I started doing this on my thing, add it to your calendar. So you could click on that, and it goes right to my calendar. And what I could do is just save it, and then boom, it's to my Google Calendar, and it's going to come up as a alert on my screen. So you could use that also. I think it's kind of interesting. If you want to get your ducks in order and stuff, and really treat this as a serious business, you need to be doing all this stuff. The extra work helps, believe me. So here it's, being here and being up early. Like I miss a lot of trades because I have a lot of obligations at home before I get out here. Take a look at the market here, selling off. So sometimes I'm always in by 8 o'clock, but lots of times news will come out 7:30, 7 o'clock. And those are some really good opportunities in the market. So there's a lot of traders in the room at that time. It doesn't mean that you don't need me in the room to, you got everything going for you. You have all the news and stuff. So the market here kind of pulling back. And we have a lot of traders that trade early in the morning from 3 o'clock on in the morning. I feel sorry for those traders. That have to wake up and know why, man, because I did that for a day. Finished up the video right now. The video's back on. I'm live now, and we were talking about 3 sites. The first site I gave you already, FDH. I think it was, what was that? FDA Tracker, and then we have Biopharma Catalyst. Did I do this one already? We did FDA Tracker. Here's the Biopharma Catalyst one. So FDA Tracker, I was talking about how you could add it to your Google calendars, all your FDA stuff that's supposed to come out. So it's a good one. It's called FDA Tracker. Bookmark that one. And then we got the other one is biopharmacatalyst.com. Biopharmacatalyst.com. And then they have a nice calendar on that. Catalyst calendar, FDA calendar. And this one, actually, one of the stocks we're in is coming out soon. It's the top of the list. It's funny because it's, you know what? I think this is an under the radar type of stock. Oh, where'd it go? VERU. So VERU is covered on this watch list a lot. I talk about the targets where I'm getting out. Everything's on the watch list. So VERU, phase 2 data due fall of 2019. I would say we're definitely into the fall. Earnings are out on Thursday. If anybody could tell me if that's AM or PM, I'd appreciate it. I forgot today's Sunday. My days are all messed up. I'm going to have so much severe jet lag tomorrow. VERU, when the earnings are, AM or PM on that one. So VERU we discussed, but this is the site. So this is biopharmacatalyst.com, and it has a nice calendar. It tells you the certain catalysts that be coming up. I think this is really a good site. So I started looking at some of these stocks. It takes a tremendous amount of time though. I went one by one. ORTX, what kind of stock? What's their drug? I don't know much about it, so I'm like pass. Don't know much about it, pass. A lot of work goes into this. The work we put into the AUPH and was impressive, and it made us comfortable or confident to hold that. These other ones, you have to really dig down deep and see what the real story is, what the team is about, what the doctors are about, what the previous trials are. Everything. I learned so much during this process with AUPH. I learned so much, and I think it's very hard to nail these. I mean, I'm very grateful to Steve out there again, who put AUPH in my lap. He texts me on some. He goes, "I'm a researcher in this," and I can tell you the process. I probably get about 3 or 4 messages from him on Facebook, and I don't. Everyone's giving you a stock to look at and stuff, and it's very hard to take someone else's thing, but. For some reason, I looked at that ARRY and I liked it, and I started looking at the drugs and and I started learning, what a lot of the terminology was, the efficacy, and the p-values, and all this stuff was very complex, But I started learning a lot, and it made me more interested in it, and that's got the snowball running. And the ARRY. Understand holding it and getting it and having it being bought out while I was holding it was a fantastic. So I got the bug in me also, which a lot of people now have that bug, but it's a dangerous bug. I mean, it can go horribly wrong too. So if you can't just be getting into anything. You have to be, real comfortable about it. The AUPH, we dug down to seeing who was hiring. They were hiring people. The insiders were buying. The team they have in place were responsible for other acquisition, companies. So AUPH is still in play to be bought out. This trade is long from over. It's just a great hit, and people made a lot of money on it. But it's probably long from over. It probably could go up another 50% before the market on Thursday. It sounds good, Pixie. Thank you. So yeah, big shout out to Steve again. And a big shout out to the team here. DayTraderRockStar, DayTrading Radio, not me. The DayTrading Radio earnings, and coming up. But the people who bring these stocks to us, they do the research. They do a lot of the legwork. It just helps a lot. I can tell I have jet lag, right? I have so much jet lag. I'm seeing cross-eyed right now. All right, I have one more website to go over. These two are nice. FDA Tracker. They have other great stuff on FDA Tracker, which I haven't even talked about. Different products, Trial Tracker, burn rate. Again, this could be complex stuff if you're not used to it. So over time, you have your specialties. If you're going to add a new specialty to it, it takes time to start to, gain that knowledge. So let me see here. What's the other one? I wrote them all down in my notes here. FDA Tracker. Oh, clinicaltrials.gov. This was pretty good. All right. I'm just going to put clinical. All right, so clinicaltrials.com. This is actually pretty good. And for an example, what I put in here, now remember, this is pretty much, it doesn't have to be a public company. A lot of times you could do a search by a public company. This one's a little bit more difficult because if you don't, you're going to have to put in the condition or the drug. So what I did was I was like, how do I find the VERU drug? And, how do I test this site? Because it basically gives you just to do it. You have to know something about it before you start, but it gives you good information when you do find that thing. So I was looking VERU what was it? 411? Was it 411? That didn't work. So then I went to, I'm doing the same thing over again. I did condition of disease. I did hot flashes. Prostate. And then I think we broke it down to men. I forget how we got it down to. But again, just showing you that what I had to go through, just a learning curve on this. Not yet recurring was a good one. Modify search. Other terms. What was the other terms? I don't know if VERU was a term or not. Active, not, yeah, that's it here. The study of VERU 944, I said 911, 944 to hot flashes in men with advanced prostate cancer. So here's the study that's going on. Active, not recurring. And you click on this, and it gives you quite a bit of information here. We'll skip over that there. It goes to, how it's enrolled, the time frame, everything you need to know about it, basically. One estimated study completion date. It says 2020. Estimated primary completion date, February 29th, 2020. Actual study start date, September 14, 2018. Again, that's the whole thing, but we're in phase 2. So phase 2 is supposed to be done now, but that's the whole thing. And then they're going to be tell you exactly what are the different arms of the test. They're doing different dosages. So 10 milligrams, 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams, the placebo. And you could dig down really deep on this. There's a lot of information here. All right. A lot of information you could go through. So that has to be one of your research areas that you need to concentrate on if you do find a drug. This is a great site to do that with, and it makes sense. Clinicaltrials.gov. All the information on the trials are there. Everything. All right. So that's it. 3 good sites to have on your list for research in drug stocks. And then the chat room and everyone else here getting involved in these. It'll be good research and good resource there. That PTI for this week, I'd be interesting. I'm actually probably going to open up my account right now and put an order in to sell this one. I picked up 300 shares right at this level on Friday, and I'll probably put an order in to sell. I'll put an order in to sell 200 at 100 at 6, 100 at 8, and 100 at 10. Why not, right? Why not? All right, that's it for the watch list. I'm sending this one out. I'm going to update you this week. It's just that I got in here late on Sunday. I apologize for the long watch list. It's an hour and 8 minutes long, but there's a lot of great information on it. And I have part of it, the last 10 minutes I did live with the show, because I want to get the show up and running. And that is up and running tonight. So if you guys get this out there, I'm putting it out there on the internet for free. The updated one will go out midweek, as I start to really just get settled back into this. And I'll be a members only one. But this has tremendous amount of information. This one's a members only one too, but I think I'm just sending it out because I didn't put any charts out. I just put all audio alerts and stuff. So you need to pretty much watch it to understand it. So that's it. I will talk to everyone in the markets. DayTraderRadio.com. We'll be live tomorrow. Again, big shout out to Paul for covering this past week, and thanks everyone for out there for the great comments while I was on vacation. And we'll see you tomorrow in the markets.